driven solutions and community service. He joined Toastmasters to improve his public speaking and leadership abilities. Dear Toastmasters and guests, please put your hands together as we make welcome our president, Toastmaster Ebube Modi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ugonna Anyanwu, for gracefully setting the tone for today's meeting and calling the meeting to order. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, please, can we give Toastmaster Ugonna one more time a round of applause? Thank you. Thank you. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, good afternoon and welcome to Seaside Toastmasters Club. Best, like the Sergeant at Arms has established, I'd like to begin by apologizing for starting the meeting a bit late. We had some technical glitches with sound and we needed to improvise. So we are very sorry about the delay and not starting the meeting by 1 p.m. I'd like to say a very big thank you to everyone for getting to join us in today's meeting. This is Seaside Toastmasters Club, and in Seaside, we develop our communications and leadership skills with practice. I'd like to especially appreciate all our guests who have joined us both online and our guests who have also joined us physically. I'd like to say thank you, and you are in the right place. I'll also like to recognize our very own area director who has also joined us in today's meeting. I'd like to say thank you. Thank you for joining us. I also like to recognize an exceptional Toastmaster who has held the helms of affairs when conducting the Toastmasters Nigerian Conference in 2023. He was excellent and he was able to deliver value to all Toastmasters. I'd like to recognize Toastmaster Stephen Aina. I'd like to recognize all the division executives, the area executives, as well as all club executives here present. I'd like to say thank you so much for getting to create this time. We do not take it for granted, and we do appreciate the confidence you have given us with your time. I would also like to appreciate our guests who have also joined us. So please, in today's meeting, I would like to encourage us to please engage. Let's engage and participate in the course of our meeting today. And for Seaside Toastmasters Club, the mission for our club and for Toastmasters International is to create a positive and supportive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their leadership and communication skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal development. And the theme for our meeting today is Spring into Action. In the grand scheme of things, nothing will work if action is not taken. Dreams will become mere dreams and goals will become mere paperwork. But what differentiates intentions from the full actualizations of our goals is the action that we take. And in today's meeting, our team exposes our mind to two different dimensions. And one of the first dimensions is spring, and the second dimension is action. In spring, we get to understand that in the agricultural terms, though, we get to understand that spring is a period when we get to sow our seed, when we get to plant, and when we get to prepare the ground to reap from the seed which we have sown. And the actions that we take are the activities that helps us to achieve that goal for the seeds which we have sown, which has to do with a farmer getting to water his plant, a farmer getting to see how to remove those weeds on the plant to help the seed that has been sown to germinate. And if we narrow it down to Toastmasters International, we realize that spring into action is necessary for us as leaders and public speakers, because just showing up here alone is a step that is helping us to actualize our goal. Now, when we have stepped up, when we have shown up for today's meeting, when we get to participate, when we get to play roles, when we get to give speeches, when we get to do a couple of other things, when we even get to take up executive positions, because in the next 2 months, we're also going to be having a transition in executive positions for Seaside Toastmasters. When we get to take up these executive positions, we begin to build ourselves, build our momentum in getting to help us achieve the goals that we intend to achieve. And I'd like to encourage us, even in today's meeting, even beyond today's meeting, to always spring into action, even in our regular Toastmasters meeting, even in our office, even in our family. It's going to help us to achieve and actualize the goals which we have resolved to achieve. And in Toastmasters meeting, we have a structure which has to do with us getting to have the TMOD, which is the MC for today's meeting. But before I call on the Toastmaster of the day, I'm going to introduce our inspirational quote for today's meeting. And our inspirational quote for today's meeting is taken from Mark Twain. And he said, and I quote, "The secret of getting ahead is getting started." Therefore, by the powers vested on me as the president of this Emeritus Club, Seaside Toastmasters Club, I'd like to formally declare today's meeting officially open. Thank you so much. Toastmasters meeting is structured in different parts, and we have different anchors that are going to anchor each of the segments, each of the different segments. And someone who is going to lead the transitioning of those segments is someone who we call the Toastmaster of the day. And Toastmaster of the day in a regular meeting is like the MC, master of ceremony, or the host of an event. And for today's meeting, we are having an emeritus Toastmaster, someone who has gone through the process of getting to sow seeds, getting to water the seeds, someone who has built capacity from getting to show up in Toastmasters meeting and getting to participate in Toastmasters meeting. Someone who have achieved excellence by doing. Someone who I respect a lot, and someone who is a lawyer and a one-time secretary of Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters Club, and who joined in Toastmasters in 2009. This person loves Toastmasters, socializing, writing, and reading. And this particular Toastmaster of the day has won the best table topic speaker at the area level contest, and is the past vice president membership of Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters Club. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, please, with a virtual round of applause for those online and with a physical round of applause for those physically present, please join me as I welcome the Toastmaster of the day for today's meeting, Toastmaster Dara Lanlehi.
When I heard our president giving me that introduction, at first I knew I was playing the Toastmaster of the day role, but a part of me was thinking, is that me? Yeah. And then I was like, of course it's me. Own it, embrace it. I have done these things, and that I'm being recognized for it. I should walk and stand with that confidence and pride. Now, the theme of the day is spring into action. You might look at me and think, confidence, powerful. Thank you, Toastmaster Joy. But again, I can't lie to you all that I had this vision of nervousness before I walked into this platform. But when you spring into action, regardless of how you feel inside, you go ahead and you do it. And I have to commend the president of this club. Being in an executive role is not easy. All our division directors showing up every single time. It's something to be proud of. Now, like the president had said, Toastmasters is divided into different segments. And as the MC, I'm in charge of ensuring that the transitions are very smooth. The next segment, or one of the most important segments, is the evaluation segment, whereby every single person that comes to this podium is evaluated. And all the role players, not just the speakers. So the first thing that I am going to do is introduce the general evaluator of the day. He is going to introduce his team, and they are going to tell us about the roles that they play. The general evaluator of the day is Toastmaster Ajani Ibrahim. He's a registered surveyor. He provides surveying services to help individuals and companies with their land procurement and title registration. He's the immediate past president at Seaside Toastmasters Club. His hobbies include playing chess, exploring poetry, and watching sitcoms. Now, before I bring him up or ask him to come up, I have to say that when I met TM Ajani, and one thing that always sticks in my head when I see him is he has this gentle demeanor. And seeing that he likes poetry, I don't think I'm surprised. It just speaks to not only the quality of person that he is, but it speaks to the kind of team that he's going to lead. And he speaks to the depth of his person. So I would like to introduce Toastmaster Ajani Ibrahim.
Thank you very much, Madam Postmaster of the Day, for all the nice words you said about me. You're not wrong at all. We're in the spirit of embracing nice things today. So, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing today? Hope you're feeling all right. So this is our first meeting in April, and I must say it feels good to be here. My job today is to be the general evaluator of today's meeting. As some of you may have noticed, seeing me sitting down there, I've been writing a lot of notes ever since 1 o'clock today. So I'm going to be observing and looking at how prepared we are for today's meeting. I'm going to be looking at how excited, how enthusiastic our role players are. And I'm going to be looking at the organization and the structure of this meeting in general. So if you're playing a role, make sure you do a fantastic job. As general evaluator, I will not be playing this role alone. I have different evaluators that will be helping me. But the first set of role players I'll be bringing onto the lectern to explain their roles will be the tag team. We call them the timer, the accounter, and the grammarian. And I think I would like to bring on the timer to the lectern first. She's recording, so get prepared. Our timer for today is Toastmaster Odunla Abayomi. She's a practicing business coach, brand and media consultant. She helps businesses, projects, and events achieve their goals through branding, printing, digital marketing, advertising, and public relations. Toastmaster Odunla hosts a TV show called The TOD Show, and she runs the non-governmental organization called Give Back with Odunla. With a resounding applause, join me in bringing to the lectern our timer for today, Toastmaster Odunla Abayomi.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm delighted to be in our presence today, and I'll be serving as the timer for today's meeting. And I have 3 cards here with me. The first card is a green card that signifies that you still have more minutes left, according to whatever role you're playing, maybe the table topics or the speech, or you're giving a speech. And then after showing the green card, After 2 minutes or a minute, I'll show the yellow card. So this gold card symbolizes the yellow card that you still have like few more minutes. And then the red card signifies that the time is close to getting up, like time up. So when you see the red card, just round up whatever speech you're giving. And yes, that will be all from my table. Thank you very much. Do enjoy the rest of the meeting.
Well, for the sake of the person delivering his icebreaker speech today, I'm gonna insist that you explain the timing.
The timing, okay.
Yeah. So the 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Same rate.
So for the icebreaker speech, after the first 5 minutes, I would show the 4 minutes, sorry. After the first 4 minutes, I'll show the green card. And then after 5 minutes, I'll show the yellow card, right? And then 6 minutes, when you're supposed to round up your speech, I'll show the red card. So if you still speak after the red card, you might be qualified. 30 seconds after the red card. Thank you.
Thank you very much, TM Oduola. Timing at Toastmasters is very, very important. Time management is very important. So with that said, I'd like to bring on the next role player that I'll be introducing, and that is the delectable Toastmaster Abibat Oyeni, playing the role of our counter. Toastmaster Abibat Oyeni is a software engineer. She has a strong passion for personal growth. Outside of coding, she enjoys good food and values making new connections and friendships that enrich a broad spectrum of interest. She joined Toastmasters to improve her leadership and communication skills. With a resounding applause, join me in bringing to the lectern our counter for today, Toastmaster Abibat Oyeni.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As rightly introduced by the General Evaluator, I'm the hack counselor for today, and my role is to help us be more aware of our use of filler words, those little crutches like so, I'll also be watching out for repeated words and phrases. One tip that can help when those little crutches are about to steal from our speech is taking a pause. When we do that, kind of help us manage nervousness and gather our thoughts. So I'll be listening carefully to all speakers, both the physical and the speakers online, and I'll be back towards the end of the meeting to give my reports.
So we've heard from the timer and the counter, and finally, we're going to be hearing from our grammarian for today. Our grammarian for today is Toastmaster Miriam Oke. She's joining us virtually. She's a supply chain professional, currently working at an energy company. Her interests/hobbies are music, traveling, and reading. She joined Seaside Toastmasters Club to improve her leadership, communication, and public speaking skills. With a resounding applause, join me in welcoming to the virtual lectern our grammarian for today, Toastmaster Miriam Oke.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Please, can you confirm if you can hear me?
We can hear you. Go on.
Thank you. My name is Mariam Oke, as earlier introduced, and I will be playing the role of grammarian in today's meeting. And my role is to listen attentively to the use of language throughout the meeting. I would also be noting creative expressions, striking phrases, and any grammatical slips. And the word for today, one of my roles, another thing I'm going to do today is to introduce the word of the day. And the word of today's meeting is cogent. Please, can you help me display that on the screen? Thank you very much. So the word of the day is cogent, and it is an adjective, and it means clear, logical, and convincing. So we can all repeat after me wherever we are the word of the day, and that is cogent. I am going to give us examples of how to use cogent in our speeches today. And the first example would be that our cogent arguments during the debate left no room for doubt. Another example is every cogent evaluation today reflects the growth we've experienced this year. Lastly, I believe that everybody speaking today would deliver something that is easy to understand and hard to dispute. Each time the word cogent is used today, I will take notes and give you a little thumbs up for your efforts. And in line with our theme for today, that spring into action, let's try and spring into action by aiming to be cogent communicators, delivering clear, structured, and persuasive messages. And at the end of the meeting, I will present a report on the use of the word of today. Thank you all, and let us have a fantastic meeting. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Very much our grammarian for today.
People online cannot hear anything. Hello?
Toastmaster Grant Oti. And his evaluator is Toastmaster Ibinabo Oyibo. Toastmaster Ibinabo Oyibo is the director for Area 11, Division D, District 130, and the immediate past president at Total Energies Toastmasters Club, a travel enthusiast, a hiker, and my personal favorite, a motorcyclist who has climbed the highest mountains in Nigeria: Gangirwal, Chapal Wadi, Africa Kilimanjaro, and the Everest Base Camp. Honestly, it is fascinating. So I'm going to invite her to the podium to talk about the objectives of Toastmaster Grant Oti's speech. Please welcome Toastmaster Ibinabo Oyibo.
Thank you, Timothy. Everyone finds that fascinating, and I'm thinking, when is the next climb? Thank you. TM Grant, welcome to Toastmasters. This is your first prepared speech, your icebreaker. And the purpose really is to present yourself to the club so that we get to know you better and also to learn the basic structure of the speech. We will expect you to speak cogently and looking forward to hearing the rest of the speech. Thank you, the Toastmasters.
Toastmaster Grant Oti will be speaking the title of his speech is Little Things That Matter. Little Things That Matter. Toastmaster Grant Oti.
Thank you, TM Dara. Thank you, TM Ibinabo, sorry. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
So typically when I introduce myself, I do it in less than 3 seconds. My name is Grant Oti. So you can tell the dilemma. I have 47 minutes or 46 minutes, and I could do this in 3 seconds. So this is what without the efficiency gain. So what I'll do is I'll tell you about Grant Oti. I'll tell you about my work in finance, and then I'll tell you why I joined Toastmasters. I grew up in Aba, Abia State, in southeastern part of Nigeria. At the time when I was growing up was when the mafia was at their heights. They harassed citizens and residents. They shut down businesses practically, and small businesses at the time had to pay royalties to the mafia to be allowed to do their businesses in peace. I also witnessed the rise of the Bakassi boys from Anambra, Onitsha, Anambra State to Aba, and how they slowly but surely were able to eradicate the Bakassi boys. But that also wasn't a very pleasant experience because of the indiscriminate killing of some of these mafia. So you could perceive the stench of burning human bodies on the roadside. You could witness gore sights of mafia who had been captured and paraded before they were beginning to be killed. So as a child, that was a very traumatic experience. That was also the time when I was in primary school. I attended Living Word Academy Primary School. It's a faith-based primary school founded by Living Word Church. I recall in primary 2, I received my earliest recollection of criticism by my form teacher at the time, Auntie Loretta. She had written in my report card, "He is overconfident." I recall when my mom had asked her, she gave an example of what she meant by overconfidence, saying that when I finish writing my exams, I don't sit back to reread what I have written. And she strongly believed that if I do so, that I could get a few extra marks. I also recall in primary 5, I had a classmate called Abubi Ifejabo. And in the 3 terms that were in primary 5, she bested me to the first position. I recall my mom would always ask me, does she have 2 heads? Does she pay more tuition than you? And you know, if she has 2 heads, she must have been doing a very good job of finding the second one. But I believe that the reason why Abubi Ifejabo was able to perform much better than I did was because she put in the extra efforts that I didn't at the time. I studied financial management in school, so naturally my first job was in finance. I started work at PZ Cousins as a supply chain finance analyst. At the time, we did factory accounting, we did product costing, and the rest of it. But when I looked up, I wasn't particularly inspired by the potential prospects of continuing to work in PZ. And so what I did was I decided to transition, and I joined Cardinal Stone Partners as an investment banker. So as an investment banker, we advised companies on mergers and acquisition, we advised on capital raise, etc. I also worked very briefly at Coronation Merchant Bank before I joined First Bank of Nigeria Limited as the technical assistant to the group financial officer where I currently work. So to the question, why did I join Toastmasters? If you're like me, you probably notice some obscure details about people's outputs. And what I've come to realize is that the part of the reason, or a very critical reason for that, why some people are good in what they do and some people are also runners, is some level of structured training as part of their development. Now, my ultimate aspiration is to be a teacher. And I've had a lot of teachers in my life. And I realized that the teachers who have made the most impression on me were teachers who were cogent and could communicate very clearly. And so I thought to myself, to be the best version of teacher that I can be, amongst other things, I must be the best at communication. I must be able to cogently explain my points and persuade people. And so that is why I joined Toastmasters. To close with a phrase that I must have heard a million times from my dad, he says, there is a book we read in 1957. The title of that book is Little Things That Matter. There are little things that matter. And so if you listen to the story from the impressionable young kid and things that can leave them lasting marks on children, to Auntie Loretta, he is overconfident, to Adobe Fidakwa, besting men in the 3 times in school, to ability to do work and be recognized for good work, to even my aspiration to be a teacher. There are little things that matter, and those little things are what makes all the difference. I'm very excited to be here and looking forward to a wonderful experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Grant Oti, for that. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Olusegun Ibitoye, and he will be evaluated by Toastmaster Ugonna Ayaun. Now, Toastmaster Ugonna Ayaun So, apologies for that break in transmission again. Our next speaker is actually Toastmaster Olubenga Koya, and he will be evaluated by Toastmaster Francis Mukolu. Toastmaster Francis is an experienced accountant, a Triple Crown Toastmaster Award winner, an ACB Advanced Communicator Bronze, and ALB holder. He loves to wear a smile, so the world can smile back at him. When he's not balancing accounts, he loves to listen to alternative rock music and watch Arsenal Football Club. So before I bring him up to the stage, I want to endeavor or request that everyone coming should please speak directly into the phone on the podium, just so that the volume can be amplified. Now, I would like to welcome Toastmaster Francis to read the objectives of Toastmaster Olubenga Koya's speech. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much. And let me do just that. Let me pay heed to your cogent advice, piece of advice. So it's a delight to evaluate Toastmaster Olubenga Koya's speech. Introduction to vocal variety and body language. So I will take cogent portions of the speech objectives. So the project is for the member to practice vocal variety or body language to enhance your speech. The member has spent time learning about and practicing their body language, including gestures and other non-verbal communication, along with their vocal variety, including pace, tone, pitch, and volume. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, please let's sit back and enjoy Toastmaster Olubenga's speech. The Toastmaster of the day.
So, with a speech titled This Thing Called Love. This thing called love. I would like to welcome Toastmaster Olubenga Koya to the podium to give us his speech. Thank you.
Thank you, the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Fellow Toastmasters, good afternoon. I'd like to open with a quote from Shakespeare. You know that butterfly feeling you get when you fall in love? That's just common sense leaving your body. Okay, that wasn't Shakespeare. It was something I saw on Instagram. But honestly, I find it painfully cogent because we've all at some point done some absurd, dramatic, even embarrassing things in the name of love. And I'll begin with the story of my friend Jude. Jude met the love of his life during NYSC, and he knew Kitty was the one for him when he saw the way she was pricing Pomo, like she was negotiating peace in the Middle East. Anyways, 2 years later, Jude decides to propose, but not just any proposal. No, Jude wanted to recreate the exact market where they met, a market, a Mami market in Kogi State, NYSC camp. He came to me and said, Tim, I want the noise. I want the vibe. I want the orcas. I want the goats. The goats? Authenticity, bro. I want it all. So we went out. We planned everything. We booked a theater. We had a tomato seller yelling, last price on loop. We had a pop-up vendor frying at the corner. We had someone selling moi corner. And of course, we all had to come in our NYC outfits. At the time, Jude had gained a few pounds, but somehow he still managed to fit into his khakis. And yes, we had a live goat. In the midst of the setup, we had forgotten to feed the goat. So the goat was really hungry. Anyways, at 5 p.m. on the dot, Titi comes in blindfolded. And she was wondering what the noise was, and the blindfold was removed, and Jude went down on one knee to pop the question, and then he began. Firstly, his khaki tore. It busted at the seams. And while he was still wondering what was going on, as if on cue, the goat broke free and charged towards the moi moi seller. Now the moi moi seller was frantically trying to guard her moi moi, and Jude still decided, I'm still going to go ahead with this proposal in spite of this fiasco. So he reached into his pocket and there was no ring. He had forgotten it in the hotel room. He still muttered the words, will you marry me? And after some very cogent pause, Titi replied, yes. Till today, when they narrate those events, they talk about how they reenacted the day they met in the Mami market, but they leave out important details like the goats. Yeah, but it's not just Jude. I've had my story to see. I met this girl on Instagram, very beautiful lady. Her name was Zara. She was the kind of lady who used words like your energy and my energy vibrate at the same frequency. She was into yoga, very beautiful. She was an uptown girl. And so she invites me on a date. It was going to be our first date. And she says, I'll pay. I'll take care of the bills. I wasn't doing too well.
I mean, I was earning 500K per month. I was a banker. So I go, don't worry, I'm not into those feminism stuff. I'll handle the bills. And she says, no problem. So we go to this fancy restaurant in Ikoyi. I should have known something was wrong when the waiters were in suits and bow tie, they were looking like Toastmasters. And we sat down, the waiter brought a scroll. There was no menu, it was a scroll. He read out the meal like it was like Moses was reading the laws on Mount Sinai. I didn't understand half of what he said, but I thought I heard something um that looked like green vegetation on a bay of joy. Vegetation on a bay of joy. And the Zara smiles at me and says, oh, I'm a vegetarian. This is a restaurant for vegetarians. Okay, bring it on a bay of joy. And so it was brought on a bay of joy. I looked at it, I saw leaves on my plate. I had fasted all day to reserve food in my stomach for the meal, to reserve space in my stomach for the meal, but I had to eat leaves. Well, after the date, I went home. I cooked indomie and eggs. I gave myself some extra meat just to console myself. But while I cooked, I muttered under my breath, when I'm not a cook, when I am not a cook. Let's just say 2 weeks after that, our energies stopped vibrating at the same frequency. We broke up. So yes, Jude lost his ring. I lost my savings. A goat with childhood trauma, very hungry goat with childhood trauma, got a reputation. But we grow, right? We grow. We, as we get closer to the person we love, yeah, we realize that every now and then we feel those butterflies in our stomach. But when the flutters begin to happen, we need to ask ourselves this very cogent question. Is common sense leaving my body? Do I still have my reason with me? Because love can take you on any journey, but just make sure you go with your brain. Thank you very much.
He will be evaluated by Toastmaster Stephen Aino. And Toastmaster Stephen Olugbenga Aino is a deputy director with NAFDAC and the World Health Organization, WHO focal person for IVDs in Nigeria. Conference chairman, Toastmasters Nigeria Conference 2.0. Fellow Chartered Institute of Leadership and Governance, CILG. Fellow Nigerian Institute of Food Science and Technology, NFIST. Member, Nutrition Society of Nigeria. Past class governor, Nehemiah Leadership Institute of Redeemed Christian Church of God. He is a Rotarian. Hobbies include traveling, has been to 25 countries across the globe, including Australia and Cuba. Reading, an avid reader, Chelsea fan, lover of blues. His favorite quote is from Buddha: we must never stop learning because life itself never stops teaching. Now, I would like to welcome Toastmaster Stephen Olugbenga Aino to talk about the objectives of Toastmaster Olugbenga Aino.
Madam Toastmaster of the Day, I'm enthralled by the warmth of the introduction. Thank you very, very kindly. All right, a very good morning. Okay, yeah, still morning. Very good morning to you. Good afternoon. Very good afternoon to you, fellow Toastmasters, guests and friends of Seaside Toastmasters Club. It's good to be back here again after the month of Sundays. I remember probably it was around COVID period I was here last. But it's good to be back here and I feel very much at home. All right, so our next speech, is that the last speech for the day? All right, so I guess we'll save the best for the last. And so I will tell you that you have listened to the rest. So get ready to listen to the best. Our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is Toastmaster Ugonna Ayahu. Ugonna will be speaking from the pathways, networking pathways. No, from the pathways strategic relationship, level 3, project 1. The speech objective is the purpose of this project for the member to develop and practice a personal strategy for building connections through networking. And the title, coincidentally, of that speech is networking. TM Ugonna, you have the whole of the stage. The world and the stage is your oyster. So please, sure. And let's see what you have to offer. Yes, I'm drinking it. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
So, with a speech titled Networking, I would like to welcome Toastmaster Ugonna Ayahu. Networking, Toastmaster Ugonna Ayahu.
Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
Your network determines your net worth. So people often say, right? So it means that the level we get to financially is determined by a huge part the people we have in our cycle. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
So if the people we have in our circle determines how far we go, especially financial and in most parts of our lives, how do we get the best people into our cycle? Initially, it starts as kids. When we were born, our first network is our family. And we grow up, each time we need something, we think about that uncle or that auntie that we know that can help us. And that's formed our network. But when we need to do other things, get married, get a job, do business, travel, so many things, we don't just need our family anymore. We need to meet other people. And these people will determine if we will be successful or not. Because if, come to think of it, Dangote or President Tinubu is my friend, I'll be rich. Pray tell, I think I will be. The reason I'm not rich is because they are not yet my friends. So I was asking myself, how do we get these people into our network? And then I got into this project on Pathways, which is about strategic networking, which means that I should go to an event and meet people and learn how to develop these relationships after I have done the pathway group work, which is studying the project. So I decided that, well, Jamie Padual event on the 8th of March at Lekki here was a good one. Over 5,000 young people from across Africa were coming to Lagos for an event. What better event will it be to experience that? People came from Kenya, South Africa, Rwanda, Port Harcourt, and I said, wow, good. So because I'm this kind of person who like to stay by myself, I set a goal that, see, I need to learn this networking thing. At that event, I will meet 20 people. And I had that goal. But as the day of the event drew closer, I saw that the goal was too big for someone like me. So I adjusted the goal to 10. Oh, it can't be that bad now. If 5 people are coming to an event, I should be able to meet at least 10. 10. I set that goal for 10. Long story short, I only met 3 people at the event and exchanged contacts with them. 3 interesting people. The first guy, Wisdom, will be on a queue getting to register. And he told me of how he left corporate job and started his business to sell phone accessories. And he said he was doing well. He was tall and about my age. I could see in him the hunger to succeed. And it was really a pleasure meeting him after speaking with him. And I exchanged my contact with him. And then I saw people taking pictures. I don't like pictures, so I passed them. And saw a lady, a beautiful lady sitting there. And I said, God is telling me something. So I went and sat down close to her and said hello. She said hi. She told me she came all the way from Onitsha. I said, wow, so how did you know about the event? She said, her husband is also involved with Jimmy Patrick. I said, oh, you are married. But I said, let me stay by her. What do you do real estate? Shortly, her husband came. She said, baby, we need to go there. I said, okay. What was your husband doing? I said, real estate. Two of you do real estate. She said, yes. You work in the same company? She said, yes. So what was your husband doing in that real estate company? He said, her husband owns the company. That's you, you are seeing. He said, God. She now smiled. I said, oh, that was nice. It was good meeting you. And we spoke. And I changed contacts with her husband. Then I finally met the third person, Olufumilola. She came from Osun State. She stays in Lagos and she was living in Lagos. And she was so angry and frustrated. She don't like Lagos. And I asked her, what do you do? She said she worked remotely. And I said, okay, Olufumilola. She told me about her business. So if you work remotely and you don't like Lagos, why are you in Lagos? What happened to Oshogbo? And she said, that she just got married and her husband stays in Lagos. And I said, oh, okay, makes sense. And it was really, really joyful meeting them. And I got to know them. The interesting thing was none of them asked me what I do. So it was good. But what I learned from that experience is, in this whole project, I've just come to share that I've learned that networking is about trying to genuinely meet people. That's against what we do. Most people see networking as seeing their fellow human beings as a ladder. So when they say networking, they are looking to meet for somebody who will help them climb and climb and climb and climb and climb. And I keep wondering, so when you climb to the top and there's nowhere to climb again, what next? You become lonely at the top because there's nobody to network again. And that's why people get frustrated even when at the top, because the reason they meet people, it's not to genuinely know them and to genuinely be their friends. They are just looking for who will help them get the next job, the next contract, and all that. Networking, I've learned, is trying to get to know people really for who they are and be genuinely interested in them. Like I always believe, President Tinubu is not my friend, but pray tell, there is none of us here that can make President Tinubu their friend today because he's already the president. The best time to become the friend of a president is when the person is not yet a president. Because at the time they become presidents, they are no more accessible. So let us see networking as a rich human endeavor that helps us in our daily lives to enrich our lives as humans and not just seeing our fellow human beings as a ladder to climb to wherever it is we are climbing. Thank you very much. It's back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ogonna. Without talking too much, I believe in the power of networking. So much. Jobs have come from it. Money has come from it. Relationships have come from it. So why not? All you need is a smile. And the world, anything can happen. So that ends the prepared speeches segment. And before I call for votes, I would like to introduce the area director, Toastmaster Ibinabo Oyibo, to give us some cogent nuggets about Toastmasters. So please welcome our area director, Toastmaster Ibinabo.
You're really noisemakers. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. I'm not here to give like a formal speech or anything. I just wanted to use this opportunity to commend Seaside. You've had a fantastic year. You're the first to be president distinguished. With a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Congratulations. And I'm sure that when the next people take on succeed in July, they already have, it's not too high a ladder to climb, so don't worry. I'm sure you can do it. You have very good players here, you have very good mentors and ancestors, like I call some of them, to support you. Yes, exactly. I didn't want to mention this. But thank you also for your support. You've been very supportive at the area level with the contest. You were also supportive at the club officers training as well. Supportive at the district division level. Anywhere I look, I see Seaside in full force. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Especially, you saved the day at the contest. It was a lot, especially since I was going through a hard time in that period. But Seaside had my back. Thank you. Please give yourself a round of applause. Then I would like to talk about some of the activities that are coming up in the next few weeks. We have the district conference in Niger. I'm not sure if anyone here is going for the conference. I know somebody was supposed to go find a wife in Niger. Someone from the No problem, they still time, we can help you. But shoot the good place to start from. Then we have the Toastmaster Nigeria conference. It's one in Iyo. If you haven't been to Iyo, Iyo is a fantastic place to go. And this is a good opportunity as well to see another part of Nigeria. Then we have the Dear District Excellence, Division Excellence Award. Excellence Award, yes. And that is in June. Please come as usual, come out in full force to support us. And then there's one last announcement I want to make. The first meeting in May is supposed to have your elections for the next club officers. If you haven't yet decided, please click up and serve. It's very fulfilling. Toastmasters isn't just about communication skills. When we become good communicators, automatically become good leaders. And we are Nigerians. We know that we're in dire need of good leaders in this country. So why not be the person that will stand up? It can't be somebody else. It won't be the person next to you. It has to be us. So I would say that Toastmasters has prepared us for this moment. And at the end, we conclude with the words of Benjamin Disraeli, who was a former UK Prime Minister, who says the secret of success is really in preparation, it's in being ready. Thank you, and thank you for letting me speak with you.
I can't lie. It's hard jealous when I heard of all those achievements. Light up. Okay, the next segment is to call for votes. You would have been handed a slip like this. So please vote for your best speaker. And there's going to be 1 minute on the clock for this. Timer, please. And for those online, I believe there's provision for you possible to vote online form. And if you have comments for the speakers, please, you can write them in the boxes according to first speaker, second. Okay. For those online, please send it to Toastmaster Ebube Dike in a direct message. I believe a minute should be up by now. Okay, so please, we're moving on to the next segment of Toastmasters. But I believe the votes, if you could tear off the voting slip so they could be collected. You could just tear it off and then they will be collected and tallied. Now, while I was here, I had a reflection. As I was introduced, I joined Toastmasters in 2009. And I remember my first impromptu session, the table topics, which is what we're about to start. The question was, what makes a good leader? And with the confidence of a newly graduated university student, I walked to the podium and I told them a good leader is someone that has a lot of admirers. Now, years have passed since then, but what have I learned? To talk in every situation, and that is what Table Topics does. The person anchoring the Table Topics session is Toastmaster or Table Topics Master, Oluwatosin Alayonde. And Toastmaster Oluwatosin Alayonde is a skilled multimedia presenter with extensive experience in speech writing, event hosting, and voice acting, with a strong passion and enthusiasm for effective communication. She teaches and influences imbibing communication and leadership skills. She is an associate of the Nigeria Institute of Public Relations and holds certifications in voice acting, elocution, amongst others. Now, I would like to welcome Toastmaster Oluwatosin to the virtual podium. Please give her a round of applause.
Butterflies in my belly. Thank you so much. Madam Toastmaster of the day, for that generous introduction. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Like I've been rightly introduced, I will be playing the role of the Table Topic Masters for today's meeting. So yes, Table Topics is an interesting part of Toastmasters meetings because it allows us to be audacious in our responses, and it inspires impromptu speaking because it's a session we do not prepare for. Today, I want to encourage everybody that will be playing the role of a Toastmaster. Please pardon me for this. I don't know what just went into my eye. I would like to encourage everybody taking up the role of table topics, speaking on table topics today, to be mindful of time. Each speaker has between 1 and 2 minutes. And so I want us to just have in mind the Toastmasters traffic sign, which is our timing. I also want to encourage us to please incorporate the word of the day into our cogent speeches. And that being said, I also want to reiterate that, I mentioned it, but I will also reiterate that each table topic lasts for 1 to 2 minutes. Is very, very important. That being said, I'd like to call on volunteers to take up the role of table topics today. Hello, am I being heard?
TM Jonas.
TM
John.
Okay, TM John. All right, TM. Drawing inspiration from the topic of today, drawing inspiration from the spring into action topic of the day. If you are asked to take just one step that you believe will impact your life significantly, what would that step be and why?
Thank you so much, Madam Table Topics Master. If I am asked to take just one step that will impact my life significantly, what would that step be and why? I'm actually going to share a previous story, a step I took, and how it prompted me to keep taking similar steps. How many of us have siblings here? Great. How many of us have younger siblings? Fantastic. I have 3 wonderful siblings. One of them happens to be a boy. When I was in university, my younger brother came to visit me, and he stayed with me for about 1 or 2 weeks. And one day, he went into the restroom. After a few minutes, he came out, and he had this clean haircut, and I was shocked. I asked him what happened, and he told me he cut his hair himself. I don't know about you, but at that time, I was bewildered. It never crossed my mind that you could actually cut your hair yourself. And in university, I was spending a lot of money cutting my hair. Now, note, he's my younger brother. So at the time, I thought to myself, this visceral reaction, if the younger brother can do it, I can do it myself. There was nothing cogent about that thought. The next day, I think I went and I got my clipper and I started carving this skin cut I have here. I would have shown you to display how good I look, but I started carving it to show that I can do it also. Since that moment, I realized that if someone else can do something, I also can do it as well. So what I started doing is finding out what people have done, see how I can apply it to my life, and start taking action to improve my life. That's one thing that has transformed my life. And if you decide to do the same, anything that has been done, you can do it and transform your life as well. Over to you, Madam Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, TM John, for that cogent speech. Who is my second volunteer, please? Can you hear me?
Okay, so, okay. Wow, I feel like you're transferring an experience that you had to me. How would I respond in such a situation? Thank you, Table Topics Master. First of all, I could act or pretend that I misunderstood the question and probably just saying rubbish, just continued from there, reading from the faces of the audience. So they would think that the first one was said in error. That's one way of looking at it. The second is I could probably just pretend I was a lot younger than I was really, like people really thought I was, and maybe very naive and innocent, perhaps. The third thing I could do is just pretend I didn't even speak English and maybe switch to my local language just to save face. I'm not sure what's cogent way, if there's a cogent way to get out of this. However, what I normally would do in such a situation when I find myself embarrassed is to just accept it and just continue and take that as a fact of life. The different occasions that one will step in, not going to be perfect 100% of the time. Can even be in a situation, just be good enough for 5%. That's life, that's normal. Accept it. Every situation is a learning experience. As long as we take that and move with it, it's always going to be something to take out of that experience. Table topics.
So I think our table topics mistress is back. So I will hand over to Toastmaster Oluwatosin Alayande. How many more people do you think we can handle? Two more, okay. So my next question, and I believe we should have some guests that would like to speak. Just presenting member Chioma, I believe. So my question is, the theme of the day is springing into action. Can you tell us of a time that you have sprung into action and what you learned from it? You can do this.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
It's my first time here. So I'll just pretty much say whatever comes to my head. Okay, so I feel like springing into action is a topic that is really important for each one of us, and I'm a big believer of that. And a time that comes to my mind is even coming here. So I've been talking about joining Toastmasters for some time. I reached out to Ebube, I reached out to my colleagues that are here that pushed me to come here. And a lot of times I've had to, should I say, procrastinate, but I'm happy that I was actually able to take action and be here, despite the traffic that was crazy coming here. And it was really important for me to hear, and this is just the first step to springing into action, and I'm happy to be here.
ITM Chioma, thank you very much for that. Timer, do we have room for one more person or it's okay?
Yes.
Then please tell us your name.
Belumi.
Belumi, okay. ITM, intending member Belumi. Please, can you tell us about what you wanted to be when you were young and what you are doing now And if you had a choice, would you do what you wanted to be when you were young?
Thank you, Toastmaster. While I was very young, there was this man in my church. He drives a Corolla Sport, clean one. Each time I see that Corolla Sport, I'm always falling in love with the car. Then I discovered what he was doing. He was a banker. So if anybody asks me, now, what do you want to become in future? I'll say I want to be a banker. I continued on the journey. I did my first jam, failed. Second jam, I passed, and I got my banking and finance course. While embarking on the journey of banking and finance, I enjoyed everything. After my degree, I started learning sales. I started learning that without sales, you can't make good money. Even as a banker, you can't make as much money that salespeople make. And research also shows that 5% of the world millionaires are salespeople that have mastered sales and also gained financial freedom through sales. So, in that connection, I got into sales. Then after my NYSC, I just had to use my certificate just because I studied banking and finance. I worked in an investment banking firm for like 6 months, then I resigned. Then I fell back into sales, which is the default job. I made a lot of money doing sales, and also I consult for people, I teach people based on financial education. And ever since then, my life has changed, and I've achieved most of my financial freedom goals, which I'm still on the journey. So if I have the opportunity to go back to while I was still young, I would choose sales over and over again. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, ITM Pelumi. So timer, do we have, oh no, okay. So the slips that were handed before, please vote for your best table topic speaker. And if you're online, please send the names to Toastmaster Ibbe in a direct message. And there's 1 minute on the clock to do this, please. Okay, let me try. Toastmaster John. Me too, I'm sure. Okay. So ITM intending Toastmaster Chioma and intending Toastmaster Belumi. But if you have comments for Toastmaster John and Toastmaster Ibinabo, you can also drop it for them. So I believe, please vote before I call on our general evaluator. I should be voting too. So I believe the time should almost be up. And I would like to call on our general evaluator, Toastmaster Ibrahim Ajani. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Hope we're having a good time.
Yes.
Hope we're having a good time.
Yes,
Somebody is frowning and saying, yeah. So we'll be moving on to the evaluation segments of the meeting now. And the first evaluator I'll be bringing on to the lectern will be the evaluator of the first prepared speech. And that'll be our Madam Area Director, Toastmaster Ibinabo Oyibo.
Can I stand here?
Still follow you. The camera is on it.
Dear Grant, congratulations. That was your icebreaker. I have to say that did sound like an icebreaker. Your story was, but your presentation style was more experienced than your typical icebreaker. Well done. And yeah, actually, give me a round of applause. I wrote a lot of notes here, but I'll just say a few things. First of all, I noticed that you started with humor. And I think humor is your thing because you've used humor a few times. I don't even know if internet is humorous, but you were because you're funny. And that came out and I enjoyed this speech because of that. And I like how you said, I can do my introduction in 3 seconds. That's true. Everybody can. But we're able to introduce us. And I thought that we got to know in 4 to 6 minutes. We're able to tell us a lot about you. You infuse storytelling as well, talking about Adobe with the 2 heads and this is Lorenza. I like that. We're able to picture everybody to put across your point and I thought that you're able to do that. And I also love the way you brought everything in at the end because initially I wondered what the connection was between Loretta and Adobe, your mom, and everyone. But when you summarized and you said what your father said, that it's in the little things, the small points. I like that, how you're able to bring that together. What I noticed was at the beginning, your body language, your upper body was relaxed. I felt that that was because you're probably nervous, but I noticed it relaxed as you went into your speech towards the end as well, and it became more natural and said flowing. That's why I noticed as well. I like you, to the point where we're talking about extension you would. I would have liked that to be more scripted, but I feel like when you speak naturally, as you advance in your program, you'll be able to get that part out of you, being the scripting, that said, because I could imagine it, but I felt that I want people to see and smell it, like smelling the streets of Lagos. The way I smelled this one when I went to my room, I wanted to bring that image back to me. And I love your manner of speaking. You're very calm. You don't rush your words. I felt comfortable talking to you. Kind of how Tim Ajani was described earlier. I like that. I felt relaxed listening to you. I liked your contribution. And I noticed that you used a lot of feelings at the beginning when you told us what you're going to talk about. You told us, sorry, my eyes are falling today. Yeah. Why you joined Toastmasters and who you were and used of phrase. How do you use any filler words? And I noticed that you used it twice. Well done. I believe you are going to be there to stay up and feel the environment. And you also on my program as well, especially with like good choice.
Thank you very much, our magnificent area director. Thank you. Let's give her another round of applause, please. Thank you, Endo. You're not clapping. Okay, with that, I'll be transitioning to the next evaluator for today. Our next evaluator will be evaluating the speech of our online speaker, Toastmaster Lubenga Koya, and our next evaluator is Toastmaster Francis Makolu. Let's give him a round of applause, please.
Be cogent. If I mention, I know I have enemies here. Please, can we applaud Toastmaster Francis once again? Now cogent that you all are now my friends. Thank you. So please, that same applause, resounding for that matter, let's pour it on Toastmaster Olubenga. Master, please confirm he's still with us. Okay, so I'll jump right into the evaluation. We all love love. And as he said, the triple L's. Ladies love love. It is quite surprising and cogent that a male will tell us, serenade us about love. And the topic was quite interesting, and I sat down on my seat. What does this Master Olubenga has for us about love? And he went right on it. He was all prepared, all set, even before he was called. You could see his video, see the appearance, everything was set, all because of love. So he mentioned that he had butterflies. When you fall in love, the butterfly feelings you have in your stomach. He also told us the story about Jude, how Jude was in a sweet relationship and what happened when he was about to propose. Only God knows what would go to the mind of that lady. He also, the peak, the objective of his project is to show variety in his voice, alongside showing some body movement, which he did quite remarkably. So he showed when Jude knelt down, he showed it. So there's one thing, your non-verbal communication is very paramount, very cogent. So when you speak. So he showed that when he mentioned, when they brought the prize list at the restaurant in Ikoyi, he also showed the screw. He used his hand to display, alongside other gestures he displayed. He had humor during the course of his speech when he mentioned at the restaurant that the attendants dressed like Toastmasters. Very well done, Toastmaster Olubenga. The room for improvement is cogent to say that that is the largest room in the world. You mentioned Shakespeare or on Instagram. So as a speaker, be convinced and be confident about the source of your quotes. So you mentioned it was Shakespeare. You didn't tell us who Shakespeare is, and you mentioned maybe on Instagram. Please maintain one standpoint so you can have some element of credibility in the minds of your audience. I think you had these hand gestures more than enough. It's advisable you alter your gesture as you give your presentation. I think there were certain areas where you could have infused the paramount objective of your project, which is pitch, volume, and tone. You had one tone all through your presentation, Toastmaster Olubenga. You would have reacted the way the lady reacted when there was no ring for the proposal. How you reacted as well when you saw the prize list at the Ikoyi restaurant. All you did well. And next time when you give a joke, be patient for your audience members to accept and laugh over your joke before you rush in. A great job telling us about love. Love can take you on a journey, but make sure you go with your brain. The general evaluator.
Thank you very much, Tim Francis, for that cogent evaluation of Toastmasters Olubenga Koya's speech. Our next evaluator is someone that we've met before, Toastmaster Stephen Olubenga Aino. To evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Ugona Ayaon, please give him a round of applause.
Thank you, sir. Please, let's give it up for Toastmaster. For that cogent speech. That speech by you, ladies and gentlemen, is arguably the best thing that has happened since last year. And I want to thank you most exceedingly for giving us tips towards networking. Ladies and gentlemen, networking is the new currency. And experts have established that in this 21st century, networking is one of the soft skills that you need to excel. Thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause for that one more time. So let's quickly do a scaffolding of your speech. I like your topic. The topic was spot on. You know, how you know a great speaker is the choice of the topic. Your topic says it even before you arrive. It's a messenger before you arrive. The topic was spot on. You chose a topic that everyone can relate with in this room. That's networking. Very good. And I also like to commend your voice. Wow, your voice is very compelling. Very compelling. It fills the entire room. You don't need a microphone when you're speaking in public. You can speak to 1,000 people with your voice. You need that in public speaking. Once again, I want to congratulate you for steez. You have so much steez and swag. No, it's just like when you see Barack Obama. Have you ever seen Barack Obama coming to speak? The way he carries himself, he's carrying his composure. You have that. You need that in public speaking. Because as a speaker in public, you must never forget for your public. You must always show confidence. Even when you don't have anything to say, you must still carry on like you have it all going on. Well done. I also like to commend you for the use of gestures. You use gestures very, very well. Very good. But then, I don't have much time. So I would like to say that the devil is in the details. What did I say? The devil is in the details. So I'd like to recommend a few things. One is the gesture. There was an excessive use of gestures. Your hand was just moving every second. You are not last man. You don't move your hand in the Toastmasters. We call it purposeful use of the hand, gestures and gesticulations. You must be purposeful, you must be instinct, you must harmonize with your speech, not just using hand like this. So please minimize the use of hands. Then, of course, there's a point where you said you met the couple and you were trying to avoid introducing yourself. You know, they introduced, and he said something like that. You were happy that they didn't ask you to introduce yourself. Never, never, ever. In networking, always say yourself short. For anybody you meet, carry yourself big. Even when you don't have anything to offer, you must always advertise yourself. Never you say no. I don't want to introduce yourself. That's what you do. Carry yourself big. You are a CEO in your own order. And also, I would like to say that tips, and that speech requires more tips. You needed to give us more tips for this. You gave us just one or two. You should have spent more time in giving us tips networking. Then finally, because of time, I'd like you to be mindful of modern assets. Try to, polish yourself, listen more to news, CNN, all these great TV stations to help you to polish your assets. But ladies and gentlemen, if you continue in this trajectory and you continue to optimize your speed, then you have the potential and the capacity to be part of the 1% of the 1% of Seaside Toastmasters. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you very much, Stephen Olbenga, for that detailed evaluation. So before we take the vote for the best evaluator, I would like to confirm from the timer if all the evaluators were within time. Yeah, you have to tell us the time. No, just tell us from there.
Good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon.
So this he spoke for 3 minutes. TM Francis spoke for 3 minutes 20 seconds. TM Stephen spoke for 3 minutes 10 seconds. Thank you.
3 minutes 10 seconds.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much, Madam Timer. All our evaluators for today are within time and they are all eligible to be voted for. So please, if you still have your voting slip with you, kindly write down the name of who you consider to be the best evaluator for today. Are we still connected to the online audience? Okay. If you're online, please send in your vote for the best evaluator privately to Toastmaster Ebube. And while the voting for the best evaluator is going on, I would like to proceed to the evaluation of tip topic session. Our tip topics evaluator for today is Toastmaster Ebube Modi, the club president. He has been introduced earlier, so no need for any further introduction.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator, for the introduction. For our online guests, I'd like to apologize for the blackouts. We have the experts on the call trying to see how to rectify it. We apologize for the little technical glitches that we encountered just shortly. Table topics is a period where we get to speak off the cuff, speak without preparation. And today we had exceptional Toastmasters and amazing guests who had decided to take the bull by the horn by getting to participate in the session. And one thing I love about today's table topics segment is we had a lot of volunteers and a lot of willing people that are willing to participate in the session. For our speakers for today, our first speaker is Toastmaster John Onomeya, and he was asked the question, if you were asked to take just one step that would change your life, what step would it be? Toastmaster John Onomeya started his speech by getting to ask a question. He started by getting to engage us with a question, and he asked us, how many of us has siblings here? And with a show of hands, majority of us responded in affirmation that we had siblings. That is a good way to engage your audience when presenting your speeches. He also did not stop there. He also went ahead to tell us stories, personal stories about his cousins and how he was able to learn a craft from his cousin by getting to make a personal decision on getting to barb his hair by himself. So I'd like to say well done for not missing the information by getting to share your personal story, by also getting to begin your question with a good way to engage us with a question. And then you gave us a call to action that you now had reached a resolution within yourself to then ask people what they have done before to see how to apply it in your life. So I'd like to say well done to that. And also, we have another experienced Toastmaster Ibinabo Oyibo, who also participated in the session. And she was asked a question, and the question was, how do you explain to an audience who looks confused on what you said? There's still a great extension to that question, but I was able to get to this particular question. And I love the fact that she was able to see how to improvise, how to move up from a particular point of location to another point of location. I was able to communicate the story to us clearly by getting to respond to the question. She responded to the question by saying that she is going to accept it and take it as part of life. She also made a clear illustration that sometimes, irrespective of how well we prepare for something, sometimes we may not really achieve what we were intended to achieve with excellence. Just like a typical example of what is happening in today's meeting today, preparation were very excellent. But getting to the meeting, we had technical glitches. We never envisioned that we were going to have technical glitches. Now, before this table topics evaluation, our light went off. So her story and the way she responded to the question was very relatable. And I'd like to say well done. She was also able to have a good use of hand gestures. Her hand gestures were purposeful, and she was also able to move around the stage. I'd like to say well done to Toastmaster Ibinabo for the amazing response to the question that we asked. And we had our intending Toastmasters, Toastmaster Chioma, who spoke on the topic, tell us a time you have sprung into action. One thing I love the most about what Toastmaster Chioma did was that she came to the stage with a smile. Smile has a way of engaging people. She smiled to the lectern and she was able to respond to the question and so on. So she went on to answer the question. She said, first, she told us the story about how difficult it was for her to even get to the location. And she told us how she was able to overcome that, irrespective of the traffic situation, that she was still able to come for today's meeting. And I'd like to say well done for thinking on the feet to even come up with that response. And also, one thing I think I would suggest that you need to do differently is, I believe that the audience do not know that you are scared. Nobody knows that you are scared. What we're just saying is, we're just seeing your personality, we're just seeing you. So there's no need to give us the affirmation that you are going to respond as it is, right? So those first initial statements that you made before you started your speech, it wasn't necessary because we were already expecting you to give us something that is going to, that we're going to go home with. So irrespective of whatever you have said, we're going to take it as that is your best. So there's no need for that initial first coloration that's now watered down the quality of your speech. Just proceed into the speech, and I believe that you have done justice to the question that was answered. So I'd like to say well done again, Toastmaster Chioma. So yes, and also we had our final speaker, Toastmaster Pelumi, and he was asked the question, tell us about when you were young. One thing I love the most about Toastmaster Pelumi is his confidence. He came to the lectern, he went to the stage, and he had expression around the stage. I'd like to say well done to you for having a good command of the stage. Now, you also went ahead to tell us about the story. You responded to the question, which you made reference to the Toyota Corolla while you were growing up. And also, you told us personal stories, which you were relatable. You told us how you failed multiple times in JAM because you were ambitious, and then you also then told us about your success. That yeah, despite you failed, you were not still deterred by those failures. You were still able to push on to make the necessary progress that you had envisaged. So the one thing I would suggest that you look at when you are giving your speech is your body language and your hand gestures. Sometimes it was no longer purposeful, the way your bodies and your hand gestures were moving. So a good part of our speech sometimes could also be interpreted with our body language. So I think you should watch out for your body language so that it doesn't distract the free flow of the message you intend to send across to us. So at that, I believe that we did justice to the speeches delivered, and I'd like to commend the Toastmaster of the day who was able to come to great on-the-spot questions. I'd like to say that today's table topic session took a different turn. It wasn't as we expected it. And please, fellow Toastmasters and guests, let's celebrate both the table topics master and the participant for today's session. That's my job is going on. Thank you, Madam Mr. General.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for that delightful evaluation. And with that, we are through with the prepared speech and table topics evaluation. I'll be moving on to the report. And the first report we'll be getting for the meeting will be from the timer. Our timer for today is Toastmaster Odnola Abayomi. Let us welcome her to the lectern to deliver the timer's report.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. This is my third good afternoon. I hope you're not tired of listening to that. So, as the timer for today's meeting, I would like to give the report for the first speaker, which is the icebreaker, Grant OT. He spoke for 6 minutes, exactly 6 minutes. So yes, his report is a positive one, followed by TM Olusegun Ibitoye. He spoke for 5 minutes, 30 seconds. TM Olugbenga Koya, apologies for that. TM Olugbenga Koya spoke for 5 minutes, 30 seconds. And then TM Ugona Anyawu spoke for exactly 6 minutes. So I think they all kept the time. And then next is the table topics. TM John spoke for exactly 2 minutes. TM Ibinabo spoke for 1 minute. Guest Chioma, she spoke for 1 minute. And lastly, guest Pelumi, he spoke for 1 minute, 30 seconds. Thank you very much. Over to you, Tim.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Odunola, for that very cogent report. And now I'll be bringing on to the lectern our counter for today, Toastmaster Abibat Oyeniyi.
I'm back to give my report. Now, I'd like to say well done to all the speakers for their cogent speeches. I've been able to keep track. Okay, I'm giving my report now, and I'm starting with CM Odunola. She used M twice. CM Stephen used M twice. Guest Chioma used M twice. CM Ivy used M once. CM Ivy used M once. CM Grant used so 7 times. And I think I want to highlight using so is grammatically correct when used occasionally, but when it's used repeatedly, especially at the start of every sentence, it becomes a filler word. Like I said, CM Grant used so 7 times. CM Ugona and CM Dara, although I didn't keep track of the number of times they used the filler so, but it was a number of times. They used a number of times, more than 5. So I think that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Abibat, for that counter report. And with that, we'll be moving on to our grammarian, Toastmaster Miriam Oke, for our report.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Please, can you confirm if you can hear me? Good afternoon. Please, can you confirm if you can hear me in the room? Please confirm if you hear me. Good afternoon, General Evaluator. Please, can you confirm if you can hear me? What is going on?
We can hear you, Toastmaster Miriam.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon once again. It's time for my grammarian report. And today I observed some excellent uses of the English language. For example, when Toastmaster Ugona was giving a speech, he said something about your network is your net worth. And Toastmaster Oluwatosin, when she was about to start the table topic, said a statement, and the statement is butterflies in my stomach. Another person that really had excellent uses of the language today was Toastmaster Stephen, and we have two sentences statement from him, and the first thing is networking is the new currency, and the other statement is the devil is in the details. So I would also like to commend the following members for incorporating the words of the day cogent into their speeches. So Toastmaster Abiba, Toastmaster John, Toastmaster Oluwatosin, Toastmaster Dara used the word of the day once, and Toastmaster Ibinabo, Toastmaster Grant, and Toastmaster Ibrahim used the word of the day cogent twice, and Toastmaster Olubenga Koya used the word of the day 3 times when he was delivering his speech. And the champion for today is no other person than Toastmaster Francis, and he used the word of the day 6 times. Overall, the language used today was cogent, expressive, clear, and engaging. So well done to everyone, and thank you for your attention and contribution to today's meeting. So over to you, General Evaluator. That is all from my end.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Miriam. And with that, we've heard from the timer, the air counter, and the grammarian. Let us give them all a round of applause now, please. Thank you. And now I'll be delivering my report as the general evaluator. So I'm going to start with the things that we really did well. Number one thing I like about today's meeting is that the meeting room is beautiful and the ambience is really lovely. Most of the guests were at the meeting as at 1 p.m., which is commendable. The vice president membership engaged the online audience by 1:10 p.m. when we had not started the meeting then. I like the presence of the roll-up banner and also our branding material. The SAA started the meeting at around 1:18 p.m., which is very, very late. We said we're going to start by 1 p.m. and we'd like to start by 1 p.m. So that's something that we need to work on. I know we're not used to starting late, but let it not repeat itself. The SAA led the Toastmasters promise. The SAA also introduced the club president. The club president recognized the presence of important dignitaries in the hall. The club president explained the theme of today's meeting, spring into action. And he also supported that with a very inspirational quote. Our Toastmaster of the day was fantastic. She is fantastic. Toastmaster Dara Lane, she warmly engaged the audience when she took over the lectern and she introduced the general evaluator. The general evaluator introduced his role players and they explained their roles. The word of the day for today was cogent, which is quite commendable and it's easy to use. I like the fact that we had fantastic speeches at this meeting. We had an icebreaker speech from Toastmaster Grant. Let's give him a round of applause, please. The speech was Little Things That Matter. That was the title. And his speech was quite interesting. I like the fact that it was fluid. The speech was well crafted and it was articulate. Our second speech was from Toastmaster Olubenga Koya. It was a speech about this thing called love. It told a story of the adventures of love. It was funny, it was expressive, and it was creative. We had a third speech from Toastmaster Ugona Anyawu about networking. It was confident, it was assured, and his speech was enlightening. It told us a lot of important things about how to network and how not to network. We had an address from the area director, and all that was good. I feel like our topic session wasn't quite as impressive as it's supposed to be because of the technical hiccups that we had with our table topics master. On my recommendations for the meeting, we started at 1:18 p.m. We said we're going to start at 1. Let us always start at 1. The Toastmasters promise was not shared. I know we used to share the Toastmasters promise. I don't understand why we did not share that today. Let us work on that. The club president took the lectern as at 1:25 p.m. He apologized for starting late. Then he went on to speak for 7 minutes, which is 2 minutes more than his allotted time. I feel like after apologizing, the best apology you could have done was to limit the time that I spoke for. All our players were fantastic in the explanation of their role, but I feel like our timer needs to be more prepared in explaining our role better in future. You don't assume that people understand the timing rules, even if the speakers understand, the audience member may not understand. So we're not just explaining for the speakers, we're also explaining for the audience too. I think our meeting at Seaside is always it's always flow better than this because we always have wireless mic. But today, because of the lack of the wireless mic, we actually suffered a lot from technical hiccups. And it wasn't just from in-house, it was also from our online audience. I feel like that's something that we need to have plan A, plan B, and plan C, just to make sure that this technical hiccup does not reduce the quality of our meetings. So what can we do about that? Let's get better devices, better network. We are Seaside. We should have higher standards than this. With that said, I think all the role players today have been fantastic. We've had topic speeches that were quite excellent. And with that, I think we've had a very cogent meeting. I don't know if I used that correctly. Thank you, Tim Francis. With that said, I'll be handing over the control of the meeting back to the Toastmaster of the day.
So I'm sure it has been a wonderful meeting for us all. When I had to play this Toastmaster of the Day role, I honestly wanted to turn it down. But 2 hours have passed, and everything that has a beginning has an end. I did it, and I have realized things I can do better. I have realized my strengths and weaknesses. So, in line with the theme of today, spring into action. And now I would invite the president, Toastmaster Ebube, to come to the stage to close the meeting. And as I hand over, wait, am I not supposed to? No, he's supposed to give the votes. Can you see? Improvement for me. Anyway, Toastmaster Ebube.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, for piloting the affairs for today's meeting. Can we please celebrate Madam Toastmaster? Thank you. Thank you so much. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, we would like to thank you for staying with us up to this moment. We do appreciate the presence of your time that you have given to us, and we do not take them for granted. Now we are in the final part of today's meeting, and we are going to be celebrating Toastmasters and guests who have improved remarkably in their speeches and in the activities which they have done. And we'll begin from the prepared speech segment. You all heard what happened today. A couple of people spoke, and you were the ones who voted for the people who you feel that are the most improved. And I'd like to be calling out Madam Area Director. So please join me on the lectern so we can celebrate the most improved speaker. Please celebrate Madam Area Director. So I'll begin with the table topic segment for today's meeting. And The most improved speaker for today's table topic segment is Toastmaster Pelumi. Please, with a round of applause, welcome Toastmaster Pelumi to the lecture. Thank you. Please celebrate them. Celebrate them. Thank you so much. So I'll also call on the best evaluator for today's meeting. Our best evaluator for today's meeting is Toastmaster Stephen Olugbenga Aina. Celebrating. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming to today's meeting. Thank you. Okay. Yes.
Sure.
Can we see the logo? Just push it so we can see the logo.
Thank you so much. Please celebrate him. Celebrate them. Thank you. Thank you. And our most improved speaker for today's meeting is no other person than Toastmaster Ugonna Anyanwu. Please celebrate him as a council elected. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Also, we have a new member who joined us and decided to take the bull by the horn by getting to give his icebreaker speech today. And in Toastmasters, we celebrate our first-time speaker, and we also want to use this opportunity to welcome him officially to Seaside Toastmasters Club. And we also have the area director who is going to officially give him a handshake, a presidential handshake, and also welcome him. So please, with a round of applause, let's welcome.
One after the other? Okay. All right.
Also, we have some first timers who are joining us for the very first time. In Seaside Toastmasters Club, we try as much as possible to celebrate people. And from the speech that was delivered by Toastmaster Choma, she told us about the struggle with getting to come to today's meeting. So it's worthy of celebration. So this is the time that we have to celebrate our first timers who have joined us in our meeting today. So in no particular order, please, our first timers, I think you need to come forward so that you can have a handshake with our area director. So this is a ribbon that we give to our first timers.
Yeah, I hope you have enough.
Yes. And for our guests online, our vice president membership is waiting to address us online, and she's also going to celebrate us online.
Yes. Yeah. We're done. Yeah, good point.
It gets the first time out. Yes. So please, you can go back to your seat, and then at the end of the meeting, yeah. Okay, okay. So please come up stage so we can have a group photo. Thank you.
Oh, this one.
Cheese.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so we got a question from someone from the online guest. Is asking the difference between.
For all first time, that's our guest, but not all guests are first time.
Yes. Okay. I think she already responded. she already responded to it. So please, can you come and take that again? Yes, repeat what you just said. Okay. Yes. Please.
Dear audience, all first timers are guests, but not all guests are first timers. Thank you.
Yes. So just to expand a bit, some guests are returning guests, right? They keep coming back to back. So this particular ribbon for first timers, people who are just joining us for the very first time. Okay. Member and the first timer. That is why we gave him. That's how we gave him the ribbon. Okay. So for the follow-up question, members who are first timers, well, that can happen in different dimensions. There could be some members who are joining us for the first time, but they are members of Toastmasters in other clubs and in other countries. Just like what we witnessed last week at the division congress. There was someone from China who joined Seaside, who affiliated with Seaside Toastmasters Club and went to the area director. That we can also celebrate as well. And for guests who just came and also became member without having to come to Seaside Toastmasters meeting, but either paid, saw us online on Instagram, we also celebrate them. That was why we also gave him the ribbon. We gave him welcome to Toastmasters and also the icebreaker. So I believe that answers your question. All right, thank you so much, fellow Toastmasters and guests. We do apologize for getting to it deep into your time. And today's issues were peculiar. It's not something that usually happens. We had technical issues in different dimensions. When we come out from one, we entered another one, and then the light now went off. It's a unique case. It doesn't just happen like that. So please don't assess us, do not judge us because of these little technical experiences that we had today. And we also do apologize for those technical glitches. We also understand that we have a lot of guests that joined us online and are still with us online. We do appreciate you for still staying with us. We do not take it for granted. Please just exercise some patience. Immediately after this session, we'll have our delectable Vice President membership, Toastmaster Miriam, okay? She is willing and she is ready to want to speak to you. And please just give her a few minutes and she's going to address you and take all the questions that you may have. Our next meeting is happening on the 19th of April, 2025. It's going to be an online-only meeting. We've been able to form an alliance with a club in Burkina Faso. And yes, I understand a couple of us are saying that Burkina Faso is a French-speaking, yes, a Francophone country. How are we going to have a French and English meeting? So Burkina Faso Club, they intend to leverage on our English-speaking capacity so that they can also upscale in their ability to speak English. So this is one of the benefits that Toastmaster gives us. If peradventure I begin to learn French, I may decide to go to a club in Burkina Faso and go and communicate to them in French, and I won't feel judged. So our next meeting happening on the 19th is a collaborative meeting. We are going to be having it online, Burkina Faso, Nigeria, and I believe it's a meeting that you don't want to miss because we have our very own delectable and always ready to deliver Vice President Education, Toastmaster Kudos, who is planning day and night with the Vice President Education in Burkina Faso. And they are ready to deliver excellence. So please don't miss that meeting for anything. Also, we've started our ESCOs nominations since January. We're transitioning to a new set of ESCOs in 2 months' time. I'd like to say thank you to a lot of us who have filled the form, who have nominated ESCOs. For majority of us who haven't, please, I'd like to also send this as a reminder. We'll need your input so that we can make the right decisions on the next set of leaders. Our club renewals has already begun. It started April 1st, and I'd like to say thank you to a lot of us who have renewed and a lot of us who have even been able to renew for some people, right? And we also like to encourage a couple of us so that they could also renew their dues as well. So we're having a lot of events that are coming up. We're having division events, Division Excellence Award that is happening in 21st of June. We're also having the Toastmasters Nigerian Conference. They just concluded Toastmasters Nigerian Conference. The chairman is here. And he delivered excellence. He brought in all Toastmasters from the whole Nigeria to Lagos. And he delivered value to every of the Toastmasters that were in attendance. Now, this year is going to hold in Uyo. Please, you can join as guests. You can also join as well as members. And also, if you have international passport and you've kept on renewing your international passport year in, year out, an opportunity for you to travel to Niger has come so that your international passport can also be stamped and be used. So we're having our Toastmasters District Conference. District is a conglomeration of different countries coming together to have Toastmasters meeting. You can also participate. That is happening on May 15th, 2025. And we are going to be sharing more information in the course of the week. We have our WhatsApp channels. Please, if you are a guest, kindly go to our Instagram and you will see our link in bio. Please click on it and you will see our WhatsApp group. You can join our guest WhatsApp group. We always post information there and it will help you to stay up to date with information about our club. I'd like to say thank you once again to our area director. I'd like to say thank you to our immediate past Toastmaster Nigeria Conference Chair. I also like to say thank you to the club executives and division executives here present. Thank you so much for getting to join us in today's meeting. So by the powers vested on me as the president of this distinguished club, I'd like to declare today's meeting closed. And please feel free to network. Yes, I can see that a lot of us are already folding our bags. We want to move to our car and then move on. Please network, meet somebody, exchange contacts, just like Toastmaster Ugonna has mentioned. And also, we stamp our tickets for free. You are not supposed to pay for your parking space. Just mention to them that you came for Toastmasters meeting and it's completely free. And for our guests, please stay behind as we have Toastmaster Miriam, our Vice President membership, who would like to speak to us and also get our questions. Thank you so much. And please feel free to network with one another. Thank you.
Thank you, President. Please, can you confirm if we have guests in the room and who is going to help us undo them, or they are going
Yes,
to
yes,
listen?
I will bring them aside together.
Okay, okay. So I should just undo all the people online, right? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you all for joining the meeting. It's to 4, so I don't want to waste too much of our time. And thankfully, before the meeting started, a number of people have already introduced themselves. So I would like to just talk briefly on Toastmasters. So Toastmaster International is a public speaking club where people can come together to practice public speaking. And it's not just it's more than a club, right? It's a safe and supportive environment where people from all backgrounds, professions, and experiences can come together with one goal, and that's to become a better version of themselves. So we encourage everybody that is in the meeting today to take up the courage and join Seaside Toastmaster Club. So in Seaside Toastmaster Club, we usually meet twice a month, and that's usually the first 2 Saturdays of the month. But this month is quite different because we had a divisional activity that happened last week Saturday. There was a competition that took place, so we could not meet last week Saturday. So we're meeting this week and next week so that we could fulfill the responsibility of meeting twice a month. So if you want to join the club and you're looking for more information, please drop your email address privately to me in the chat box. So in no particular order, I'm just going to call people to tell us what they've learned in today's meeting and if they would like to join us. So I'm going to start with there's somebody named Celia Kabore. Please, if you're free to speak, please can you unmute your mic, switch on your video, and talk to us and tell us what you've learned today. If you'd like to join Seaside Toastmaster Club, we would love to hear from you.
Okay, thank you so much. And going to turn my camera on. The lights. Yes, I'm Celia Kabore. I'm from Nazi Boni Toastmaster Club, the club that are planning to join you for the coming session. Yes, it's with your VP, Mr. Kudus, that I saw the link and took part to the session. Really, today I learned many things that we are not doing in our club, such as the best speaker that you choose during the session, and also the evaluation of the table topic master and the Toastmaster of the day. So I will be pleased to take part to your coming session as well as possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Celia. It's nice to meet you. And we are also looking forward to the meeting with your club next week, Saturday. So the next person I'm going to call upon this afternoon is guest Ifelua. So I don't want to murder your surname, but I think it's okay. So, guest Ifeoluwa, please can you unmute yourself? Tell us what you've learned in today's meeting I know you've already dropped your email address, so I would share that information with you shortly. If you have any question, I would gladly respond to those questions. Please, can you confirm if you're available to speak, those guests, if you're Lua, so I can move to another person if you're not available to speak. Okay. Okay, I'm going to assume that Ifelua isn't available to speak. So I'm going to move on to Victoria Shomade. Please, can you unmute yourself? Tell us what you've learned in today's meeting. And if you would like to.
Good afternoon.
Good
I'm a
afternoon.
Toastmaster for Mary Toastmaster
Oh,
Club. I just started to join in.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining.
Thank
Thank you
you,
for
Kudus.
joining.
Kudus
Yeah.
is friendly, and Toastmaster John is a very close person to me.
Oh,
So I just
nice.
started to join in. Then couple with my dear brother, the president. That's why I'm here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining today's meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah, the next person I'm going to call is Samuke. Sorry, Samuel. Yeah, please, can you unmute yourself? We would like to hear from you. Hello. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so I'm going to call upon Precious. Please, we'd like to hear from you. We want your feedback. What do you like in today's meeting? What do you want us to improve on?
Excuse me, if I may mention a few things that I observed, if you don't mind.
Okay.
VPM, can I mention a few things?
Yes, you can. I'm with you. I'm listening.
Yes, I just always encourage those who are on ground to make sure they use the mic, or make sure they're close to the microphone, so that those of us at the other end can benefit. Most of the happenings today I didn't hear. Sorry, but it's just that I wanted to be there. That was why I was still waiting. If it's someone that is just coming from, the person will just go. So
Yeah,
that's yes, take care of things like that.
okay. We sincerely apologize for the technical issues, especially with the mic. Apparently, they forgot the wireless mic today, so they had to use a phone to improvise. So whenever people move away from the phone, we could not hear them, especially those of us in the online audience. So I'm sure the next meeting is not going to be like this. I'm sure that is going to be fixed. Thank you, Toastmaster Victoria, for that kind feedback. So I have Ifeoluwa as his hand raised, so you can go ahead and speak.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
It's a pleasure to be in your midst. It's my first time at the Toastmaster, and I must say it was quite enlightening, educating, and insightful. I loved the sessions from the beginning to the end. I picked a few lessons. Someone who is passionate about public speaking, and I think this is a place where that skill will be honed from the many practical sessions and the live sessions that I'm able to engage in and with. Once again, Toastmaster Miriam, okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you for joining the meeting. So we would round off now. I can see Toastmaster Abubakar Jimba. Please, can you unmute your mic? I think he has, no, he's still with us. Would like to hear from you, Toastmaster Abubakar Jimba. No, you're not. I know you're not a guest, but I would love to hear from you. How are you doing today? Okay. Let me move on to Kelechi. There's somebody named Kelechi's iPhone. I don't know if you're available to speak. We would like to hear from you.
Sorry, can I speak now?
Yeah, you can speak. That is okay, Muidin. Oh yeah, you can go ahead and speak.
Okay. So, sorry, I was just lost for like 2 minutes. So, what would you like me to talk about?
What you learned in today's meeting, if you have some like a feedback to give back to the club where you want us to improve, if you want to join us, drop your email address so I can send more information across to you.
Okay. Thank you so much. First of all, I was able to connect with lovely people here, from all around Nigeria and someone from China.
China.
So, also the organization of the program was top notch. I love it, and believe we can always improve as time goes on. So I'd like to be a part of this program. I will be filling the form. So thank you so much. I'll drop here.
Thank you. So you can drop your email address with me privately, because of privacy issues. So you might just send it directly to me.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So it's 9 minutes to 4, and I am at this point. I would okay. Thank you. I've seen your email address. Let's see chats. Yeah, a couple of people. Kelechi has dropped his email address. Okay, so let me see. Chukwuebuka Obi, I'm not sure if you're a Toastmaster or not. Please, would like to hear from you. Okay, I can see you've dropped your email address, but we would still like to hear from you if you don't mind.
Okay. Hi, Miriam. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, it was a very nice experience being part of the meeting today. This is my first time as a guest, and I learned a couple of things, on how to give an efficient public speaking lecture. And like you said, I would love to be a member, and I just sent my email to know how to go about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that.
So yeah, I have your email address. I'm going to send you an email very soon. So let's see. I'm trying to go through the people I haven't spoken to today. So I only have two. Oh yeah, so we have Precious and Samuel Luca. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but if they are not available to speak, I would like to say we've come to the end of today's meeting. On behalf of Seaside Toastmaster Club, I would like to extend a big thank you to you for coming today, because today is Saturday. There are so many things you could have done, but you decided to show up today. And just to remind you, we have another meeting with a club from Burkina Faso next week Saturday, and it's a strictly online meeting. So okay, Toastmaster Abubakar, your hand is up. You can go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Madam VP. I'll just make it quick. I was trying to unmute myself earlier. Thank you so much for having me. I thought it was a great meeting. I learned a lot. I think Seaside is where to be on a Saturday. So I look forward to the next one. Thank you very much. I'm well done to the organizers. It was an
Thank
amazing
you.
time.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Abubakar Dimba. It's good to hear from you.
Thank you.
So we've come to the end of today's meeting. Thank you all for joining once again. Bye. See you next week, Saturday.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.